Why? Deal with the current domestic situation.
Well, it's because I feel, Einar, that we can compete with the Chinese. So what are we left with? Is to come up with some strategies to undermine and slow down the progress of, why not compete? Because in competition, something good will come out of it instead of embarking on these policies. And this leads me to get your perspective on the recent trip of the Secretary of Treasury, Janet Yellen. And before her was the Secretary of State, Tony Blinken. And before him was the CIA director. What do you make out of? Here is a statement like this emanating from Washington, bashing and sort of saying whatever they're saying about China. On the other hand, sending high-ranking officials and asking, oh, with China, can we talk? What do you make out of this double standard?
Well, it's hypocrisy, and I think most people are aware of it. As I said, how many times can I slap you before you don't want to shake my hand? I can say, look, I just want to be, we're not going to be friends, but we should get along. But by the way, I'm going to start kicking you in a few minutes, and I don't want you to react. If you react, that's hostile, all right? And if you're hostile, then I'm going to have to increase the pressure. So these are the tactics of a bully. A bully will come up to you and demand your lunch money. And then if you don't give it to them, they'll punch you. And they say, if you fight, I'll really hurt you. Okay. And these are the actions of the United States. I don't know how else you can put it. I'd like to say that there's some grand strategy here. I mean, you hit it on the head. There was that incident with Tonya Harding, where she paid some people to basically break the legs of her friend, right? Her friend and competitor, because she didn't think she could compete. So the only answer was, I'll break her legs, and that'll be good for me. Well, unfortunately, the Tonya Harding strategy seems to be the strategy of the U.S. I mean, and the government said the answer to this is we're going to spend more money on bombs. I mean, if you're out there, you're about to lose your house. I don't think, saying, well, it's okay because, my contribution has been part of a Sidewinder missile that could, blow up a school. I mean, that makes me feel good. Now all of a sudden it's okay that I'm going to lose my house and everything that I've worked for my entire life. And it's because, a few Russians will be dead because of my efforts. I don't think so. I think the long-term solution for this is the voters waking up and saying we don't want these foreign adventures anymore. All right, the U.S., it's $32 trillion and counting. Large percentage of that has been based on these wars, based on supporting the Pentagon. Note that the Pentagon, the war machine, was exempted from any kind of ceiling as part of this, raising the debt ceiling. They just said, well, everyone's got to economize here, but not the war effort. In fact, the new budget is higher than ever, $888 billion, 90 billion of which will go to, the CIA for disinformation purposes and things like this. Don't you ever wonder what you get for $90 billion a year? I mean, the mind boggles. And then you hear see these papers, these disclosures, whistleblowers showing that they're using the cash to recruit journalists around the world to basically be their stooges, and that they have these extensive spy networks. So what is the big strategy with this? Exactly what you said earlier. Accuse others of doing exactly what you're doing, and then claim, we're the good guys. China's spying. We saw this balloon in the sky. We have 32, all right, U-2 spy planes that fly out of Area 51, and they circumvent the world on a daily basis, collecting information at about 70,000 feet in the air. And we say, oh, China used a balloon that we can see and track, and this is sophisticated stuff, And the next level is already here. They have now unmanned vehicles that have this enhanced. You have billions of transactions which are going through the SWIFT system. And this is where the U.S. has been, abusing, depending on, or using or abusing, depending on your point of view, their power. It was sworn up and down when SWIFT was created. Everyone saw the potential for misuse. The U.S. said categorically, we will never use SWIFT. We will never weaponize it. It is too important to the global financial system. It is off limits. We're putting it over in Europe. Don't worry about it. And then, you have to worry about it now because it has been weaponized. It's being used. This is another example of illiberal America. We always say that, why do we dislike other? Well, there's no due process. Right? There's they don't have a legal system that gives you a fair shake. Well, what have we done? We've seized assets of Russians, ordinary Russian people, in addition to government funds and things like that, without a hearing. No hearing. We just say, he's Russian. We're taking his stuff.
We're taking over.
Right? I mean, and if you want to promote a world order of laws, the first thing you need to do is lead by example and obey the laws themselves. And the U.S. isn't doing that. So when I get back to India, India sees the tableau as basically every country for themselves. Get what you can whenever you can. And SCO, that issue is entangled with their animosity towards China, and to a larger degree, their animosity towards Pakistan. And that's a different set of geopolitical calculations between them. India, like the US, like everybody else, they insist that we're in the right, we're wonderful, peaceful people. It's just these dirty terrorists from Pakistan and these horrible people from China. Things. I mean, I've been on shows where the host has said, look, China is envious because the Indian man is far superior to the Chinese man. The Chinese man can't think for himself. The Indian man has the ability to, make up his own mind, to voice whatever he wants to voice, or she wants to voice. And you're kind of awestruck by the enormity of such sayings and things like this. But I mean, this is the kind of cannon fodder that they feed the masses on a daily basis. This isn't just one station. Many of the stations, the hosts themselves, not some right-wing troglodyte, peddling national superiority, but the hosts themselves say these types of things.
Wow.
And they say, well, it's just ratings. We just, we're in the business. This is about money, and that's about eyes on things, and we have to have controversy.
Know that we are fighting the fake news. It's fake, phony, fake. A few days ago, I